All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm with Ian Wendt again. Always controversial, Ian. But listen, I agree with a lot of the stuff that you say, and I'm not claiming to be an expert, especially in this department, but I am following it. Now, everyone knows that my dad's been in the hospital. I've had a lot of things going on. I'm kind of following this peripherally. It's in my peripheral vision, and I'm kind of watching everything that's going on. I'm seeing Candace coming out with she's on fire, in a blaze of glory, man. She's coming out against this stuff. And I'm watching it and I'm thinking to myself, dude, this is getting really, really murky. This is getting really bad. It seems like it's implicating a lot more people than people expected. We all knew from the beginning that something was up. We watched the horrific scene when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and then we knew that Tyler Robinson, come on, man. None of us bought the story. And then Kash Patel comes out and says, we deal in facts, not conspiracies. And then everyone just kind of rolls their eyes and goes, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The guy that ran on exposing the conspiracies and full transparency and all that stuff. Now we're just conspiracy theorists. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I have an interesting theory about that too, though. If you remember, I don't remember how long ago it was, but do you remember when David Harris Jr. was actually trying to like step down? You remember when it was saying, when they were saying, yeah. So, dude, my theory is I think David actually figured out what was going on early on, and I think he said, you know what, I'm out. And I think I don't know what happened, but something made him stay. And it's really interesting if you consider that, because how much have we actually heard from David Harris Jr. compared to Patel?
He's kind of just been
just kind of there. Yeah, exactly. He shows up in interviews every once in a while, but when he's on those interviews, he's definitely not himself. I can tell you that.
A lot of people seem like they're just kind of frozen right now. No one really knows what move to make. Right here it says, yikes, Candace Owens suggests that Donald Trump and who assassinated Charlie Kirk, Trump, because he proclaimed October 14th, 2025, Charlie Kirk's birthday as the National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. And then this person, because he announced on September 11th, 2025. And the fact that I can't even name their names shows you that, folks.
Dude, we're cooked, man. The fact that you have to censor yourself like this is just insane.
It just is what it is, man. And it pisses me off as it does my audience. On September 11th, 2025, that the prominent traffic circle in that little country in the Middle East, often referred to as the square in local parlance, would be renamed Charlie Kirk Square. My thoughts, this is a disgusting claim, in my opinion. Regardless how people feel, when you reach a certain level of people that follow you, you trust you, you have a profound responsibility not to say something like this without showing some kind of proof. Very, very, very disappointed in Candace for this. So I'm not, to me, I want to hear what she has to say. Let's just play a little bit here.
Who was that post by?
This was MJ
Truth Ultra. Yeah.
Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know. We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us.
I agree with that. So I'm going to stop it there. But I do agree with that. Like
100%, dude.
I'm all about leave no stone unturned. And it seems to me,
it's like they used him and then that's it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to, I'm nobody's cheerleader, dude, but go ahead and state your case. I know I was talking about this with you earlier, and there's a lot here.
I mean, the scary thing about that too, bro, is like, if you consider all the circumstances that have happened since, it doesn't only seem like they used him when he was alive, but now they're using him when he's dead. And this is why I'm really tuned into what Candace has to say, is because, bro, anybody that is trying to say that what she has revealed is like not consequential is insane. Just by revealing that text thread alone, it caught Andrew Colvett, Josh Hammer, the pastor, I forget what the pastor's name is, was it Lyman or whatever, and multiple executives in several lies, like all in one. So, I mean, just consider this, right? Because after he died, you had Andrew Colvett going on podcasts and showing up and talking about how Charlie was actually still a huge supporter of that little country in the Middle East and how he was still all about it, right? He even said that the donors that they were losing weren't from the country in the Middle East. And and on top of that, he talked about how him and Candace, Charlie and Candace didn't actually have a super tight relationship, and Candace hadn't been involved in Turning Point for a very long time. And then just with that text thread alone, it revealed all of those things to be lies. I mean, think about it, right? He talked about, I'm going to bring Candace on. So obviously they're still tight friends. On top of that, it was proven that she spoke at an event, at a women's event for Turning Point, like 6 months prior or 8 months prior, something like that. And so she was obviously still involved, and she was still on the board for Blexit, right? So then the other stuff, right? So the donors. In that text thread, he literally says, we are losing donors from that country in the Middle East because they are putting pressure on me. And I'm going to be I'm forced to have to leave that cause. He literally said those words. And so the fact that Andrew Colvett comes out after he's dead and says the exact opposite of that, and then you also have Josh Hammer, who's promoting his book and also saying the exact opposite of that. And then you have the pastor who comes out and not only says the exact opposite, he says that Charlie's last dying wish or last wish, whatever, was that he goes to this little country in the Middle East and does a mission on behalf of Turning Point, who, by the way, from what I understand, I may be wrong in this, I don't think I am, from what I've heard, that pastor was also one of the people who stood to gain the most from those donors. And so it's like, with that one text thread that she revealed, she blew all of those lies wide open. And what happened? Andrew Colvett had to get on and actually admit it. He had to get on and say, yeah, this happened and blah, blah, blah. And it's so funny to me because if you watch that video, if you watch his demeanor, he slurs his words. He trips over his sentences. He's very, very uncomfortable. You can tell that he did not want to make that video. And then on top of that, at the end, he's like, well, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that it came out because, you know, I don't even remember what he said, but he basically acts like he's glad that all that stuff came out. It's like, no, you're not. You got caught with your hands in the cookie jar and everybody knows it. But anyway, here's the thing. You have this video pulled up. Dude, I knew for a fact, or I had, maybe not knew for a fact, but I had a very strong suspicion that something was going to happen to Charlie. If you want to play this video, like, you can let people see. This was my very first live stream that I ever did on my YouTube. It was 2 months ago. You can see the date, right? And I literally did I basically just did a commentary on the debate that Charlie hosted at the Turning Point event with Dave Smith, who is very anti that country in the Middle East and everything they're doing, and Josh Hammer, who is the exact opposite of that. And just watch what I said.
Well, give me a second here. It's not letting me fucking rewind it, dude.
Oh, that's weird. All right. Well, I mean, I can just say it if you're able to pull it up while I'm talking. But basically, dude, what I said was, first of all, I actually was always like, I appreciated what Charlie did, but I was also very outspoken about Charlie because he was always a huge. Yeah, there you go. See if that'll work.
Is that the beginning of it?
No, the beginning is where I say.
Well, I want to go back.
I have no idea. Just refresh it, maybe. That should. If you just refresh it, it should work. There you go.
All right, here we go. So I have to edit that out. All right, let's go.
The fact that he was willing to put this debate on stage at a Turning Point event is absolutely crazy.
So the following clip is from my very first live stream on my YouTube channel. And I did it 2 months ago. And as this stuff started coming out about Josh Hammer and Charlie Kirk and everything, I started to think back to the fact that I covered on a live stream the debate between Josh Hammer and Dave Smith. And I just decided to go back and listen to it because I was like, I wonder if there's something in there that I just kind of missed or whatever. I definitely forgot about something. Watch this.
When I first heard that it happened, I was like, no freaking way did he do this. And sure enough, he did. So shout out to Charlie for making this happen. I think a lot of people are starting to wake up and really want to have this conversation. I think Charlie's one of those people, and he's there's been times where I've seen him tweet or post different things that I'm like, okay, he knows what's going on. He's just kind of towing the line. And kind of tiptoeing around everything. It'll be really interesting. I also said this on X. It'll be really, really interesting to see the reaction and if anything happens to Charlie and Turning Point after he decided to do this. Because I'll tell you what, it takes balls to do this.
Yeah. I, along with many other people, because of that debate, had a feeling that something was coming. But wait, there's more.
So give it up for Josh Hammer and Dave Smith, everybody.
Did you lose sound?
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Oh, there you go.
Directly to Hamas. I guess money doesn't have a dual use. So, the whole mission of this, what you can't even really call a war, because it's not a war, it's the destruction of a captive people. Gaza's been occupied since 1967 by the Israelis, and they're now just slaughtering the people there that's a fact, and it's under the supposed goal that they want to eliminate Hamas and they want to retrieve the hostages.
We'll do this. Both sides need to get under good cross-examination. Do you think it would be bad if Iran got a nuclear bomb?
Yes, I think it's bad. I think it's bad.
And I think we can all agree on that. That is a moral agreement.
I don't think anybody should be allowed to have nuclear weapons secretly.
If you didn't catch that, that was a little dig at the fact that Israel has like 200 to 400 nukes. We just don't know, right? 200 to 400. That's a pretty big gap. But we literally don't know how many they have. Why? Well, because their program is secret, and for some reason they're allowed to have it be secret.
No. There's more.
Adolf Hitler and the Nazis couldn't bring down America. Joseph Stalin and the commies couldn't bring down America. The British Empire couldn't bring down America. But you think the Hezbollah in Lebanon are a threat to us? They're a problem for Israel to deal with. We got our own
families of the Beirut barracks bombing in 1983. Seriously, say that.
This dude is such a pussy, dude. I hate him.
Both Dave and Josh agree on some plan to wind down U.S.
This is important.
That was an agreement, correct?
So this is what I'm talking about when I say that if you study the past, it will give you a much better understanding of the present. And sometimes you can predict the future. But hey, I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
So,
Oh man.
I mean, so
Yeah.
dude,
You
it's
called it right then and there, man.
literally, because I was watching it and I was like, this is crazy. Because the things that he was saying on that stage, this is what you have to consider. Okay. This is what I think a lot of people are not considering. The reason why it makes so much sense that the potential, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without saying it, but the ones that took him out, right? Like the reason why a lot of people think and have a suspicion that it's that little country in the Middle East is because for decades, their entire goal has been to propagandize the United States of America and have us believe that they're little David, they're defending themselves, they can do no wrong, and that they're our greatest ally, and like all of these other things. And the other, like our generations have been completely propagandized to the point where it's been infiltrated into our churches, right? This idea of Christian Zionism is like, it is part of this entire propaganda campaign. And so what people don't consider is the fact that Charlie Kirk was not only one of the most influential characters of our time, he was by far the most influential character to the two youngest generations coming up, which is
I agree 100%. And the fact that he was turning his back on the donors and then raising questions about that little country in the Middle East.
He was ready to
two
say
big no-nos.
Yes, exactly.
And I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I just,
and they couldn't have that. They could not have.
Absolutely not. And
like,
he was capturing the hearts and minds of the youth. He was transforming the youth in real time. I mean, he went from having a little plastic table with a poster board taped on it to, selling out these or hacking these amphitheaters
And here's the other thing
and
too, bro.
auditoriums.
And here's the other thing. The turning point events were just targeting college kids, right? So like that crowd with that debate, those were college kids. But what a lot of people haven't talked about is the fact that he was also working on thousands of high school chapters. So again, he was not only influencing in the biggest way the college generation, but he was about to be influencing the next generation as well. And you think that these people were going to let that happen and have these two, the two most valuable generations not be on the same page as all the other ones? Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. But
No.
by doing what they did, and now everyone in social media raising questions about what's happening, Candace Owens and many other social media influencers, the cat's out of the bag. People are learning faster than ever. I mean, we are at a warp speed time here. Everyone's picking up what's going on, and everyone's learning on their own. Social media is become, nobody listens to the FBI. When Cash Patel, and I hate to say this, but nobody's paying attention. Nobody believes them.
Dude, it's really simple to know why. It's not because, people don't trust them anymore for sure. But listen, if any of their narrative made sense, even one piece of it, if any of it made sense, it would be one thing. But literally, none of it makes sense. The fact that the medical examiner talked about a miracle bullet and the freaking Man of Steel, and then Andrew Colvin, by the way, confirmed that. And the fact that the trajectory doesn't match, and there was no ambulance. They put him in an SUV, and there's all these weird figures all over the place. And there was only, and this is, you could play this video too, because this was the next one. I have literal confirmation that there were only 6 officers on that campus. 6 for 3,000 people. That is unprecedented. Okay.
And let's not forget to mention the decoys that were set up. Oh, I did it. Raising their hands. I did it. And they arrest me. I mean, this is just there's too many anomalies that don't make sense and coincidences that they're astronomical. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Not only that,
and then they start redoing the whole center or revamping it or reconstruction?
They repaved it, bro. They repaved
yeah.
the entire area. But here, watch it. But look at this. So I have an insider. Literally, one of my friends is law enforcement down there. He was one of the first on the scene, and this is something he said too that I remembered. This is a while back. This is September 22nd.
You want me to play this first, or do you want to show those texts first?
Yeah, we can show the text, but I mean, literally, it says, speaking with UVU officers, Charlie team would not coordinate with them regarding security. Now, listen, I'm not an expert, and I say this in the video. Honestly, you don't have to play the video. It's a long one. You guys can go watch it.
Show that again. Show that again. Show that text again.
You can go watch it on my Instagram if you want. Just go to Iwendster. If you want to just plug that later or something, David. But this is the text. I mean, read that. In speaking with UVU officers, Charlie's team would not coordinate with them regarding security.
Wow.
And it's okay, I'm not an expert, but every person that I know, and I know a lot of people that have been executive protection, every single one of them is that is weird. The fact that they didn't ask for extra backup from any of the local PD, and the fact that they didn't coordinate, that Charlie's security detail didn't coordinate with local officers, to me, it's freaking weird. It's why?
Yeah.
And then you consider the fact that, and this is what that video is. So I'll just say it. Don't play it because it's long. Then you consider the fact that just 2 days ago, a sweeping gag order for all law enforcement, all lawyers, everyone that has been a talking head, a news media personality that was close to Charlie, and out of all 3,000 attendees, anybody that comes forward or that could be a potential asset to the case, every single one of them is under a gag order.
But you see, that just shows guilt, right?
That's what I'm saying, bro. If you want,
all
our
suspicions are true. That's what I'm saying. Keep doing it. All you're doing is showing who you are.
Exactly. It's if you want to convince people that something's not a conspiracy and that it is what you say it is, you don't gag everybody that's involved in it.
The construction on the amphitheater, I think, is the biggest telltale sign. Tyler Robinson's one thing. The decoys in the audience are another, but then completely leveling it out and pouring concrete, that says it all to me. And that just shows everybody this is way bigger than some dude that was dating a trans on the roof. That's who they're
Bro,
the fingers at.
there's also, did you see, you know what, I should have put this in there. You keep talking. I'm going to put these on there, but did you see the discrepancy in the actual shooter too? They have a discrepancy now with the shooter. The shooter was in 2 different outfits. Let me show you this. This is wild.
You know, I've seen some other things too where they showed Charlie's vest kind of like, you know, you go to the exploding pagers, right? Have you seen his
He
vest?
wasn't wearing a vest. He wasn't
or
wearing a
his,
vest.
his microphone.
His shirt. Yeah.
That to me looks suspicious as well. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at all this and I've heard the bolt rifle go off, so I know there was a shot. There's obviously a gunshot, but could it have been in coordination with that exploding into his neck? I don't know. And here's another thing too that my audience needs to really take into consideration is that there's so many conspiracies coming out right now, and that's on purpose. That's on purpose to muddy up the
100%.
water and confuse everybody and disorient everybody to where you just give up. You throw your hands up and you go, you know, I don't know. It could be this. It could be that. I don't know.
It's also an effort to to silence and to shame all of the people that are speaking out about this, like the Candace Owens. I mean, you have Candace Owens, who is now being called crazy. It's the same game plan that they did with freaking Kanye, right? It's like, oh, she's crazy. She's just, and you have all of these bots and all of these paid influencers going after her as hard as they possibly can. She's obviously onto something. And like, before I show you this, we talked a little bit about this, right? You consider the Erika Kirk situation. To me, that is one of the weirdest parts of the whole thing. It's like, okay, in my opinion, I think it's one of 3 scenarios. Either she is legitimately being gagged and she is scared for her life and just kind of doing what she's being told to do.
Which is what I kind of feel it is. I think she
by
was
her
in love with
handlers.
Charlie. I mean, I've
Yeah.
raised some questions about Erika Kirk, and in no way, I'm still neutral on it. I don't know. I don't
Same.
know her.
But
But
you
I
have
know I know the type of girl that joins these beauty pageants and reality shows, and that's all I can say.
There's more than that though. So you have to consider all the angles, okay? Because the other angle that's really, really weird is, bro, both of her parents were connected to the DOD.
I know.
And I think her dad was connected to the CIA. You can look this up. This is not a lie. They're
It's not a lie.
100% connected to the DOD. And there was a interview that Erika Kirk did a long time ago. I think this was before she was married. I can't remember, but basically she said that the reason they moved to Arizona was for something she was involved in. I don't remember exactly what it was, but then they found another interview, I think after she was married, talking about the fact that the reason why they moved to Arizona was because of her mom's job, which was with the DOD. And then they needed this job interview. And listen, like,
Wasn't
I've
her
watched
dad
it-
involved with defense too, making
Yes.
weaponry? Okay.
Yes. The
Or
Department
the
of
little
Defense.
country in the Middle East, right?
Yes. The
Oh my
Department of
God!
Defense. So then it's like, okay, I've watched enough freaking spy movies to know that a lot of this stuff is possible because they get those ideas from somewhere. Okay, so that's the second option for me. But I'll tell you what, the third one is what I hope it is. And the third one would be so incredibly epic. And that is the fact that Candace has already said, I will stop doing what I'm doing if Erika tells me to stop. The fact that Erika hasn't told Candace to stop right by now, that to me is a huge sign,
Well,
bro.
hold
'cause it's-
on. If she did, it would look very, very suspicious. So if I was Erica, I wouldn't do anything. I'd be like,
Not really though. Not really, because I mean, Erika could easily. She has enough people that are completely manipulated spiritually and playing the whole like, oh, just let her grieve and be like all about faith and God and blah blah blah. Like they're being manipulated by their faith. There's enough people that if she were to do that, they would literally just say she just wants to be left alone. She's a grieving wife, blah, blah, blah. That would be an easy thing to spin. So I actually don't think that's the case at all. The fact that she has not said anything is very telling to me, because if she was truly upset and if she wanted Candace to stop, in my opinion, she would say something. So I'll be honest, bro.
You're saying that she's her source.
I think there's I think there's a chance that she's the source.
And I'm not
And
saying
how-
you could be. I think you could be right. I just think Boy, oh boy, this is getting
There-
muddier and muddier, man. This is just
There was
a
that
lot of
interview.
people's lives are on the line here, bro. A lot of
I know,
people's
man.
lives.
I know. There was
One
that interview.
misstep.
Yep. There was that interview she did on the Charlie Kirk show. I don't remember exactly when, but basically at some point, and I don't know if it was Andrew that asked her or somebody else, but somebody asked her, hey, how much do you know about all this? And it's really weird. If you go watch it again, she looks the camera dead in the eye and she goes, I know everything.
Who said this?
And it's like Erika Kirk. When they asked her what she knows, she said, she looked straight to the camera and she said, I know everything. I
So
mean,
what's your
I don't know.
thoughts of what's your thoughts on Candace coming out saying that President Trump is implicated, and also the guy in the Middle East?
I mean, bro, for me, the little country in the Middle East is a given. I
It's
mean,
a
there's
given.
just
It's a given. And
there's
I agree
too
with
many
you.
things. There's too many things that point to it being advantageous for them to take him out. And then you just consider all the weird things that happened after, right? The letter to Bibi, which was completely fake. By the way, I have literal text messages from my source inside Turning Point that was saying that letter was totally fake. It's
Do you
not
show
how
it, or
Charlie-
you don't want to show it?
Yeah, I could probably show it. I need to find it. Hang on a second.
So we both knew people that were there, and obviously the people you're openly talking to people. I'm not. They're not contacting.
Here we go. I
They're
found
not
it.
contacting me anymore. So that tells me a lot right there.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that
even
was
tried to
another-
get a with my own cousin. I said, "Come on, man, come on my show," and I
Here,
never heard.
I can
from him.
pull.
Never
I
heard
can pull-
anything.
Let me pull this one up really quick. Hold up. I think it's here. Hang on a second. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
All right. Let me try to pull. Where the heck is it, dude? What the hell? There's so many things. Here, hold on. Let me try to find this one actually. Share. Where is it? Okay, no, it would be there. All right, let me just see. Well, I'll just pull this text up first. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
So this is my source, pretty high up in Turning Point. I've been talking to ever since it started. Let me show you this one first, because this is where they stand as far as like being willing to speak out. Because you're right, dude. It's scary. Why can't I not move this? Okay, here we go. I think if I scroll, nope, that's not it either. Here we go.
Another day
Okay.
at Nino's Corner.tv. This is how it rolls.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Right here. This is the first text that I ever got from my source. Okay, so you want me to read it?
Yeah.
So honestly, bro, I can just text you. I'm willing to lose my job. But from what we believe, and I think a few people already told Candace, I think she mentioned it on her episode yesterday. This is way, way back. This is
Hold on,
probably.
I think you're reading a different one. I see. Did you read Charlie's letter to?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, hang on a second. Why the heck did that do that then?
I don't know. I was like,
Okay,
wow,
here we go. Here we go. It just was the wrong one. Here you go. So this was sent to me, like this was right around the time after he died. This was like maybe 2 weeks after he died. This person reaches out to me because I made a connection, and we formed a good relationship, and they know they can trust me because I'm not the kind of person that would use this to take advantage or anything. And so this is the text he sent me. Says, I think she mentioned it on her episode yesterday, is that one or maybe two people who sit on our board of directors was directly financially benefiting from any Israeli donations that were coming in. They're obviously people who were close to Charlie, and as you can imagine, he was the busiest dude ever, so he couldn't be there for absolutely every donor meeting and all of that, which is where he would trust his board of directors. I think Candace actually knows exactly which board members it is who personally aren't. We personally aren't sure who. When he says we, he's talking about there's a group of people in this organization that have been trying to figure out what's going on because they know something is up, and that's who he's talking about. So then it says, from doing a little financial digging, we believe someone on the board has a pay structure that's based directly on the amount of donations coming in. And that's why even with Charlie starting to go against the narrative recently, they somehow were still able to get in the room with him and try to sway him into not asking any more questions.
Wow.
So that was the first text that I ever got from my source. And this is before.
So
Candace,
do you think?
This is before Candace dropped that text thread.
Wow.
This is before she revealed all of those executives on that text thread and the truth about everything that Charlie was thinking and doing.
So you know what I think's going to start happening? I think there's going to start being some accidents within Turning Point, car accidents.
Maybe, 'cause here's another one.
Self-deleting. Yeah, I think there's going to be there's going to be an internal fight. Nobody's going to be able to trust anybody, and we're going to start seeing people drop. What do you
Maybe. So here's another one that kind of goes along with this. It says, bro, I have something that may seem small, but could potentially be a huge piece of the puzzle. Truthfully, Candace probably knows this already, but just a few weeks before Charlie died, he made 2 huge promotions. We promoted a new guy to COO, and we promoted Charlie's head of security to a completely different role. I know on the surface that seems like nothing, but the COO is one of the main people to handle donor money. And then Charlie's head of security, pretty interesting, literally a few weeks before he died.
Wow.
So,
Man.
like, dude, I mean, let me see what this one is. Oh, it's the same thing. Let's see. Yeah. So anyway, that's those ones. So like, I've literally been talking to these people since the beginning, and since the beginning, all of them agree that something is up. And again, like after his death, the number one telltale thing for me, oh, that's what I was going to show you. I was going to show you the letter. Hold on a second. Let me pull that up.
See that.
Yeah, I was going to show you the response to the letter. So what basically what they said about how the letter is totally fake. So here you go. This one. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Damn it. Hold on. 1 sec. I have so many freaking tabs open right now. Okay, is this the one? No. What the hell? Why does this keep on doing this? I need this one right here. Let's try this again.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, bro. All right, here we go. This is the one. Okay, so you can see that.
Yeah.
So
Charlie's letter. Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna just put these down real quick. All right. So did you read Charlie's letter to Netanyahu? The one going around, I'm not sure if it's official, but it was official. This is the one that supposedly he wrote to Bibi Netanyahu, right? That Bibi literally came out and said, "Oh, he wrote me this letter," and blah blah blah, and it was like perfectly coincidentally exactly what they needed it to say for the cause.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Yeah, I saw it. It's faker and Gary than the Man of Steel BS. What specifically would he not have said and why?" And they said, "I should have been with my family. First one that jumps out at me. He would never in a million years say that. Also, he would message me just good work, and all of his emails were super short and to the point with 0 repetition. That letter has so much repetition, and the length of it is not like Charlie at all."
So they know that he didn't write that.
They know he didn't write that. So that's the other thing. It's like, okay, so they fabricate. They first try to lie about where he stands, and then Candace releases the text threads that blows that out of the water. And then you have this fake letter that goes out that supposedly is from Charlie that's telling Bibi that he needs to be better about his PR strategy and better about winning over the West and all this ridiculousness.
Wow,
right?
something that he would never say.
Never in a million years. And that's proven to be, through me, I posted that,
Fabricated.
and that went viral. And so that's proven to be bullcrap, right? And so it's just all these things keep on stacking on each other, right? And it's like, we all know this, dude, from day one. How many coincidences until it's no longer a coincidence? And this one is riddled with freaking coincidences.
You know, I saw someone at the
inconsistencies.
gym the other day, and he doesn't even pay attention to this stuff. And he told me, he was like, "Oh, bro, everyone knows who did it." And he said that little country in the Middle East. And I'm like, "But you don't really pay attention to politics and this and that." He goes, "Nah," but he goes, "I followed enough to know." He goes, "My instincts, bro." He goes, "That's all I need." He goes, "Everyone knows." He goes, "My family knows. We all know." I'm thinking to myself,
Bro, the thing is, it's all about, it goes back to the same thing every single time. All of us know this. It's follow the money.
yeah, all the money.
Nothing else matters. It's follow the money. It always comes down to the money. Who stood to gain the most money from getting rid of him?
Yeah.
Who stood to lose the most money if he continued on the path that he was, right?
They had to get rid of him.
And not only that, then you consider, yeah, dude, it's just, it's so clear for me. It's so clear as day. It's so clear as day.
It is to me too. Like when you said, "Let's do a podcast," I was like, first of all, and you sent me those videos, I go, I don't disagree. I agree with you. Like, you know me, I bring all perspectives on my podcast. I mean, this is a very confusing time for a lot of people, especially people that support Trump, MAGA, the whole thing. And look, folks, I bring everything out there into the open, and even if as long as I believe it's the truth, or it could be the truth, no matter how ugly it is, it's the truth. I mean, I'd rather have an ugly truth than a beautiful lie.
And I am just, I mean, for everybody that knows me, like, dude, listen, I truly believe this. This may piss people off, but this is just the reality. I think where we have gotten right now, because you want to talk about how the right has been divided and the base is being completely split. You know me, dude. I'm not right. I'm not left. I am very much just like independent constitutionalist. I just care about freedom. I care about America first. I'm not an isolationist either, but I think we need to take care of our own right now
100%.
and stop, so where I am is like, I'm going to tell the truth no matter what, no matter who it offends, no matter what base it offends or whatever. But where I think we are right now is truly, and we've talked about this before, I think you are seeing loyalists versus patriots.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, when I'm looking at the teams, this is what's going to piss people off when I say this, but this is the truth. When I look at the teams, I see one team that is, Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz and freaking Huckabee and Cam Higbee and Xavier and Officer Tatum and all these other shills. That's the one side. That's the side that's attacking Candace and attacking Tucker and all about, oh, this is bullcrap and we have to support this country. And it's all, and obviously there's this campaign that's paying these influencers, maybe not all of them. And maybe they're not. That's the other thing too. Like, not all of these influencers are getting paid the $7,000 or whatever. You have to understand that payment comes in different forms. Think about this for a second. Emily Saves America, Cam Higbee, Xavier, Fabian, all of those influencers that went on that trip to the little country in the Middle East, just, I think it was like maybe a month and a half ago or something like that. Every single one of them have either been to the White House since, gotten a news anchor position, gotten a campus tour position, or been featured on major magazines and major news channels and become faces of the conservative movement.
Well, and another thing, it's who are you not allowed to criticize?
Bingo. So that's what I'm saying. So going back to the teams, right? That's the one team. Looking at those people, I want nothing to do with that team. That team, to me, they are not America first. They are absolutely in it for themselves. They are shills. They are grifters, proven. And then you have the other team, bro, and you have Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, Owen Schroyer, freaking Harrison Smith. Like, when I look at those two teams, I'm like, that's a pretty big no-brainer of who I'm gonna think is probably closer to the side.
And then you have the radical extreme left that scares everybody to the right, and then that's what they're hoping for. So, like I've always said on my programs, when this pendulum swings really far left, it tends to go really, really far right, and that's where it's going right now. And I'm sorry, but it is.
But this is also, I will tell you this too. This is also a major this is where it gets very deep, okay? Because you want to talk about follow the money and who stood to gain and who stood to lose from this assassination, okay? You also have to consider the fact that currently that little country in the Middle East has unequivocally, according to everybody but their government and ours, committed one of the worst crimes in modern history over the last 3 years, okay? And not only that, they are constantly under scrutiny by everybody.
Right, and when you consider the hundreds and thousands of women and children that have died over there, Charlie Kirk is a flea fart, folks. That's nothing.
And now, so now you also consider the ceasefire. This supposedly happened 11 days ago. I just posted something about this. This is my most recent video. They broke that ceasefire 24 hours after. They blamed it on Hamas. They said it was them, blah, blah, blah. It's the same story that's happened for a century. And they broke the ceasefire and killed I think it was another like 50 Palestinians, another like 40, I think it was like 30 something kids. And they are continually having to convince the United States and the West that they are still the victims, that they are still defending themselves. So what do? We already know this is real. This isn't a conspiracy. Ellison took over TikTok, one of the most staunch Zionist on planet Earth took over TikTok. He bought TikTok. The person who's in charge of the
No wonder I've been blasted off TikTok.
the person who's
I'm
in charge
gone.
of the
I'm not on there
community
anymore.
guidelines, bro, the person who's in charge of the community guidelines, former IDF.
Oh, well, then no wonder I'm gone.
Yeah, but
They
guess
just
what?
Canceled my account.
But guess what? They also bought They also paid $150 million for a PR campaign through YouTube, Google,
Oh, great.
AI, VPNs, and now they're working on X. So, okay, consider
I've been
the whole,
throttled on X. I've been throttled massively on X.
so now consider the whole scheme of things. Okay, so one of the most influential people to the two youngest generations, which are what they needed the most in the time when they are committing the worst crimes and need to garner support from the United States, specifically from the younger generation. During that time, they're also launching the biggest campaign for propaganda on the United States with the Google ads, with YouTube, with the influencers, with the geofencing, right? You heard about the geofencing thing, right?
Yeah. Yes,
They
I have.
literally tracked hundreds of thousands of Christians at the memorial. And then it was found out that that little country in the Middle East paid $4 million to Turning Point as their partner to launch this geofencing campaign to send propaganda to all of these Christians in these major states when they go to church. So it's like, okay, all of this put together, right? You have to silence him. You cannot let him go on the path that he was going. It would have been absolutely detrimental to their plans. Now let me throw something else in the mix.
But this backfired.
Kind of, because here's the thing. The other thing you have to consider, and this is absolutely real, you can look it up, you can verify it. Bro, do you remember that AI video that Trump posted on his platform about the Gaza with like the weird AI thing with Elon and Bibi Netanyahu, and they're like sipping margaritas in this new like Trump Gaza thing? Do you remember
Monaco.
that?
Yeah, I don't remember. I never saw it, but you're talking about like a resort type thing where they're all sipping drinks together.
So it's real.
Yeah.
They 100% are planning. They're in their
Yes.
first phase right now to create GAZA Riviera, or it might be called Trump Riviera. Get this, it is going to be the largest tourist destination in history and will include smart cities. Now, where else have we heard about places being complete? Because, by the way, all of that area, including the West Bank now, because of this breach of the ceasefire,
Hold on.
have been leveled.
Right. For this to rebuild, and then on the bodies of hundreds and thousands of innocent women and children. And let's think about this for a moment. Jared Kushner. I had Daniel Brinkley on, who went there and brought the peace deal, who showed up, showed his face.
Kushner's the one behind it.
He's gonna get the contracts.
He got the contracts. Kushner and Witkoff. Kushner and Witkoff are the ones behind the contracts. And by the way, I just posted a video about, you could pull this video up. This one's actually really good. You should pull this one up. Pull the one up. Yeah, pull this video up. Trust me, it's
You
worth
send
it.
it to me though.
No, just pull it up on my Instagram. Can you do that?
I'm not on your Instagram right now, but
It's really, it's
I'm
the
not
one
logged
that's,
in. Send it to me.
okay, I'll just send it. I'll just text it to you.
Okay.
It's this one, bro. Pull this up. I just did this one. And by the way, while you're watching this, consider the fact that in 2019, Kushner was working already to get ownership over settlements and land. Where?
In Gaza.
In Gaza.
Yep.
And by the way, it was approved during Trump's first
Now,
term.
Danny Brinkley came on and said that Jared Kushner would be building the third temple there as well.
So that gets interesting too, because
You
they
know?
just had a press conference with. Did you see the press conference with Caroline Levitt today?
No, what
Someone
happened?
asked them. Someone straight up asked Caroline Levitt if the plan is for Trump to build the third temple in Gaza, and she started sweating, and that was it. That was the last question she took.
There you go.
Watch that video.
All
I'm
right,
telling
here
you,
we go. There we
it's
go.
worth it.
All right, I'm going to show the video that Ian just sent me right now. Boom, here it is. All right, so
You just got to refresh it. Probably turn the sound on and refresh it.
Plan for God.
course it fucking.
is the reconstruction, the rebuilding of Gaza.
So this is a recent interview with 60 Minutes.
Were recently interviewed on 60 Minutes.
I forgot I said that.
Specifically, we're asked about the plan for Gaza and specifically the funding that was going to make the plan for Gaza possible. Listen to what Steve says.
And you're builders, you've been in real estate. As you said, it's extremely complex. Tell us more about the plan and how much it's going to cost. Where's the money going to come from? And who's going to award the contracts? 3 questions.
I think it's going to cost a lot of money.
What's a lot of money?
You know, the estimates are in the $50 billion range. It might be a little bit less. It might be a little bit more. I happen to think that that's not a lot of money in that region. You have governments that are going to jump on in, and
So the Middle East countries are going to provide the money.
but you'll see European participation and so forth. I think the beginning of this plan is how to get it going, and that's what me and Jared work on all the time. The money raising, we think, is the easy part. We think that happens relatively quickly, but it's the master plan, and we're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
So wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh, wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Working on master plans for the last 2 years.
Okay, wait. Pause. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Working on master plans for the last 2 years.
And then look at Jared Kushner. Look at his reaction the minute that he says it. He goes, keep watching.
So there are plans already.
We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, and Jared's been pushing this, and we're working together on it. And
Jared's sweating, bro.
Oh boy.
Look at him.
He's like,
Oh boy. Wow.
for those of you that don't understand what we're talking about here, I know that there may be some. I know there's probably a lot to do, but there's probably some that don't. So here's what's happening. There is a actual plan in place to turn Gaza into a luxury tourist destination.
We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent.
Yes, that is absolutely real, okay? And I actually covered this 2 live streams ago on my YouTube channel. Check this out. There are plans to build a luxury tourist destination in Gaza. And I know that there's people that are saying, yeah, right, there's no way. Well, let me just read it to you, okay? So, multiple overlapping proposals have emerged, often under names of Gaza Riviera, Trump Riviera, or via a trust called Great Trust, Gaza Reconstitution, Economic Acceleration, and Transformation Trust. Key elements include luxury resorts and waterfront development. A chunk of Gaza's western coastline would be developed for high-end resorts, hotels, possibly artificial islands, modeled after places like Dubai for tourism. The idea is to leverage seaside appeal, beaches, marine tourism, etc. Smart cities. Where have we also heard about land just being completely leveled and completely destroyed in order to make way for smart cities?
LA.
Hawaii.
New cities.
Lahaina.
LA.
AI powered up to 20 stories, mixing residential, commercial, light industry, and infrastructure, such as hospitals, schools, etc. Green areas, interspersed parks, farmland, golf courses. Relocation and property tokenization. Part of many proposals involved giving Gazans digital tokens in exchange for rights to rebuild and claim property, or possibly to relocate. That's so nice. So all the people that we destroyed their homes, killed their literally like obliterated some of these people's bloodlines, we're going to give them tokens, guys. We're going to give them tokens so that they can potentially rebuild their lives, or they can be completely relocated. And man, now with this new information, I mean, it might have just been a little bit of a slip, but master plans for the past 2 years. Kind of a weird thing to say, kind of a weird thing to consider. Based on that, it kind of seems like it might be possible that this has been a plan for a long time and that we've actually been a part of it. And it would explain a lot, like the fact that we've dropped the equivalent in bombs of 13 Hiroshimas, I think I read somewhere, on Gaza.
That's real, by the way. 13 Hiroshimas.
But hey,
Jeez.
I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
So, dude, now consider this. I didn't say this in the video. I put it in the caption, but now just consider this. 2 years ago. When was 2 years ago?
That would have been in 2023. That would have been
October.
right, October.
2023.
So obviously, yeah. So they were planning this, let's say, before that. We know that paragliders cannot penetrate the Iron Dome. We
And-
know
and-
this was done by Benjamin Netanyahu. And I'm just going to say this. I'm not putting it on YouTube anymore. There's just a bunch here, but I'm putting it on Rumble tonight and on
Okay.
my .tv.
Okay, so let's just go
But
wheels off, bro.
Wheels
because
off, bro. Go for it. Yeah.
'cause-
Because I'm
because
just
guess
like, why fuck around anymore?
Good, because guess what? They also had a stand down order. It's
Right,
been
for like 9
100%
hours?
confirmed. 9 hour stand down. By the way, who is it that talked about that stand down order a month before he was murdered?
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk. He questioned the stand down order on the Patrick Bet David show. So, okay, listen, this is why I'm saying that I think this is getting to the point where it's going to be loyalists versus patriots, okay? Because here's the reality. Everyone needs to be willing to accept the fact that we have been duped and that this whole idea that Trump is some kind of white knight and working behind the scenes and like saving Israel for last and blah, blah, blah. You need to be willing to accept the fact that there's a very good chance that he's absolutely involved in this. And this has been the plan all along. Because I'll tell you what, again, follow the money. You know how much money that thing will generate? Do you know how much? And by the way, digital tokens, guys, that's digital ID. Who do you think is going to provide that? Palantir? Peter Thiel? Who gave the keys to the AI surveillance system to Peter Thiel when he was elected? Trump.
I want to play a video because this just to me, this is when, a kid in the crowd questioned Charlie Kirk about Israel. And I wasn't going to play this as his YouTube.
This is a great one.
This
It's
is
not a
where I
kid. He's a
think-
vet.
This is where I think it fucking,
This is where he flipped.
where he woke Charlie up, dude.
This is the vet, right? The vet that asked him
How
about
long
the
was it?
passport
How
at
long ago was
9/11.
this? Yes.
Yep.
Right. So this is weird because I think maybe this is when it's almost like Charlie Kirk short circuited. And he was like, well, completely backing Israel. Then all of a sudden, this guy comes out of the crowd and confronts Charlie, and you can almost see like Charlie malfunctioning here. And this was, well, I don't know when this was put up. This was what does it say here? This was up. I don't even know when it says this was put up. But this was a few years back, wasn't it?
6 months. It says 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was longer than that. This was longer than that. But let's just watch
Yeah.
it.
I don't remember when it happened, but it happened. I do know that it happened like, it happened. I think in like 2024 or something like that. But anyway, go ahead.
$1,000 and you aren't hedged, you are sitting on a ticking time bomb. Markets are at all-time highs, but history shows, you know what comes next: volatility and increased risk. A temp investment will receive a free.
I just want to say, like, one of my core
Yep, this is it.
as a Christian and as a man is standing firm in what you believe in. In 2021, I enlisted into the military. As far as I
Thank
know,
you for your service.
as far as I know, is the only trainee at Fort Benning, Georgia, to decline the COVID vaccine, even when everyone was trying to force me to take it. I was discharged for it. So I truly believe as a follower of Yah, we are called to stand firm in our beliefs. I think that what you're doing is amazing, trying to get people to wake up. But here's where I start to kind of question you. You are very for Israel, and I totally understand why from a surface sense, from a biblical sense. But as a Christian man who's about to have a little girl in October, here's my problem. In the Talmud, they talk about sexual intercourse with the little girl is permitted if she is under 3 years of age. You can rape a non-Jew woman and it is legal. And as a Christian, I mean, you look
Honestly, this stuff, skip to the 9/11 because the Talmud thing, it really is just kind of like.
Hold on. I mean, it flows into it.
Transgender
Okay.
and the LGBT community are
There's a small group of them actually believe that.
did, but there's more to it. And so as a Christian, what is your biblical perspective to supporting a group of people that are promoting satanic acts and are excusing satanic behavior.
There's a lot there. First, tell me what the Talmud is.
So the Talmud, I believe, is like a set of rules that it's kind of like our 10 Commandments, but on a bigger sense.
No, it's not that. So the,
Okay.
the Talmud would be to the Federalist Papers to the Constitution. So do you know what the Torah is?
Yeah, the Torah is like the Old Testament, like what
Close,
they
yeah. Genesis,
the
Exodus,
Bible.
Leviticus,
Yeah,
Numbers, Deuteronomy.
their version of the Bible.
Yeah. Well, that Tanakh is their version. It's actually our version. We have an indecipherable Old Testament. So let me just kind of give you a little bit overview, and then we'll talk about the Talmud. So the Torah is the most holy text that also includes.
So pause it really quick, because I guarantee you people are going to be like, oh, he's trying to silence him about the Talmud. No, let me just explain what I was saying with that, because it's just, I also believe that when you bring up arguments like that is such a low hanging fruit argument that is used all the time when it comes to arguing the Zionist and the greater Israel agenda. But it's such a deviation, because the truth is, yes, there are Jewish people that believe in the Talmud and live by the Talmud, but it is a very, very small percentage of people. It's not all Jewish people, and it's not nearly as like prevalent as people make it seem. And so I'm not trying to like shut it down. It just, when people bring that up, to me, it totally shuts down the conversation, because people that aren't listening and aren't willing to actually dive into this and understand the threat of Zionism, it almost immediately shuts them off, because it's just another one of those talking points. It's important to know what it is and definitely go research it and figure it out. But like, also understand that it's a very, very small thing. It's not like super prevalent, and therefore it's not one of the best arguments, I guess, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Let's play here. Let's see if this is it right here.
The Talmud. I do know the Torah very, very well, and I could tell. Well,
the modern Jews are not the true chosen people of Yah.
That is a fact.
Well, no, again, if you've ever been to Israel, you could tell the difference in Ashkenazi and a Sephardic immediately. The Sephardics are like screaming about like going to, go to war, in the Ashkenazi.
So see, Charlie's still on board with Israel here, and you can totally see it.
Well, and he's still propagandized, because the reality is what he's talking about is it's the idea of dispensationalism and Judeo-Christianity. And dispensationalism and Judeo-Christianity started at the establishment of the state of Israel with the Schofield Bible. It's literally a political move that was made to alter the Bible and convince Christians all throughout the West that part of being a Christian is supporting the state of Israel. And that's not true, because the state 100%. Of Israel it's not the state of Israel, the current ethno-political state of Israel is not the same thing it's not the same Israel that the Abrahamic covenant, Abrahamic promise was given to.
Agreed.
It's totally different.
These are having a much more liberal Orthodox Shabbat service. But let me ask you a question. You say that the Jews run our government. Fair enough. You said that?
Yes.
If that's true, why is it we send so much money to Hamas and Iran?
Because
they're doing
Israel created Hamas.
Okay, wait, help me understand this. So the Jews run our government, is
Correct.
What you say.
Correct.
And
Trump met with the Sanhedrin a few years ago, and they asked him to uphold the Noahide laws, which talk about killing Christians.
Well, so the
It's not a
Noahide
secret.
laws are actually, we live under the Noahic covenant, and nowhere does it say it should kill Christians. What are you talking about?
The Noahide laws are the upholding of the. So
This is true.
Trump works for the Jews.
Tell me what the Noahide laws are.
The Noahide laws is a group of laws that the Jews live by that specifically say that they have guillotines. It talks about the beheading of the.
He's literally red pilling Charlie in real time.
He's black pilling him, bro. This is not the red pill. This is the freaking black pill.
Used to describe what they would say Gentiles. They have a word noyim or something.
Goy, which means
Goy.
nation in Israel. Do you know that?
Okay.
So anyone who is not a Jew is called a goy.
And they all deserve what they
Yeah.
say.
So let me just make sure I understand. So Jesus Christ, who himself was a Hebraic, Torah observant, Shabbat observant Jew, or whatever you want to call it, right? Because Jew just means you're from Judea. That's all it means. Okay, you know that, right?
No.
That's where it comes from. Tribe of Judah, then formed Judea. Jew comes from Judea. Jesus Christ himself honored the law. Does that mean anything to you?
It does. So if we're gonna say
He didn't honor the law, he fulfilled the law.
how is justifying
And the keepers
the-
of the law.
of a child under
No,
3 years
because
old?
that's not the Talmud is not the law.
That is
See,
a-
and that's what I'm saying, David. You see what I'm saying? That's my point, is they're so close to getting to the meat and potatoes, which is Charlie is still manipulated in believing that Jesus Christ is just part of this, but the reality is Jesus Christ is the law. Like
Correct.
Like he didn't change it. He became it.
Right. He fulfilled it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And I agree with you on
they're
that.
just barely getting there. But again, it's when people.
But I still find this extremely interesting. I think we should just go through the
It
whole
is.
It's not
Yeah,
very
yeah,
long.
for sure. Push play. I'm just saying that's a good point to explain, is what I'm saying.
I encourage you to find me a singular instance of somebody in Israel talking about the legitimate 3-year-olds. That doesn't exist.
Look at our government in Hollywood, who's run by Jews, this trafficking. The Jews run this trafficking there itself, Charlie. Donald Trump
He's right,
not wrong there.
He's not wrong.
himself.
But it's easy to say they run the Jews. Oh, the Jews run everything. If the Jews run everything, why is there so much anti-Semitism?
Because anti-Semitism is a construct created by the New World Order agenda that is being pushed onto us.
Here it is.
But Jews, it's
Fact.
like global warming. And your theory is very similar to global warming. If it gets warmer, it's global warming. If it gets cooler, it's global warming. If there's anti-Semitism, it's the Jews. If there's no anti-Semitism, it's the Jews. We send money to Hamas, it's the Jews. We send money to Israel, it's the Jews. So at some point you have to tell me, like, they basically control everything, whether it hurts them or it helps them. Is that correct?
Israel wants the New World Order. They're the synagogue of Satan. It says so in Revelation, Charlie.
You think
synagogue
Israel
of
is
Satan.
the synagogue
The
of
synagogue
Satan?
of Satan.
100%.
Okay, actually, it doesn't say that.
In the Bible, it says that there will be a group of people who call themselves the chosen people of Yah, but they are the synagogue of Satan. Charlie, we live in the end times. Trump
Well,
works
I mean, I can't agree with that. So let me ask you, since you believe we live in the end times, what do you think? Do you think the modern creation of Israel is fulfillment of biblical prophecy?
It is not.
Okay, then we disagree. Then what do you think it is?
It is a satanic agenda to push a new world order. That's why they were fought in the 1940s. World War II was fought not over what everyone thought it was fought of. Every war is fought by, it is funded by the rich, the Rockefellers,
Fact.
all the rich.
Mhm.
Rothschild.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
yeah, let me
Rothschilds.
question
This is where it gets into 9/11.
I don't think, I think Hitler was bad, yes. Hitler was bad, yes. But
did the Holocaust happen?
the Holocaust did happen.
How many people died?
Not 6 million.
How many?
It was not 6 million. I don't
How
have
many?
I don't have an exact number,
Yes.
Charlie. I don't have an exact number. It wasn't
Okay, but you
6
said it's
million.
not 6
Good
million.
answer. It was a good answer there.
Because there wasn't 6 million Jews in Germany.
Okay, well, I mean, you tell me. How
What
many
books,
people died?
what books were they burning? What books were they burning? The Talmud.
Well,
They kicked a Rothschild out of the Berlin Bank.
so, okay, I mean, was Hitler justified in his critique of Judaism?
I don't think he went about it the right way. I think he was wrong by killing people.
Oh, so
Good
Yeah,
answer.
good answer.
he just implemented it wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
He's making Charlie think.
Hitler. I am not.
Yes.
I support
You
Hitler.
know you're losing the.
And Charlie thinks he has him on the run, but he
I'm
doesn't.
not justifying Hitler.
No, because the genocide of anyone is not okay. The genocide of anyone, even Palestinians, the
No,
genocide of innocent children,
I'm
Palestine is not
glad
okay.
you say it's a genocide.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. The reason why Jews have been run out of 109 countries throughout history is because every time they get into a country, they try and
Try to take over.
in Nazi Germany, again, they are having transgender surgeries, underground transgender surgeries. They were promoting homosexuality in schools. They were literally
Well, hold
preaching
on,
it.
time out.
He's right, man.
So who was
The Weimar Republic, dude. What we consider woke today is what they were promoting at that time.
100% in Germany.
who actually was the
Yep.
one that was performing so many of these surgeries? It wasn't the Jews alone that were doing this. The Nazis
100%.
themselves were doing these horrific surgeries.
No.
Now, let me just kind of pause. You believe that the Jews run the American government.
That's not a secret, Charlie.
Well, no, I find it hilarious.
This
that-
is where he goes.
All
no,
Trump's
yeah.
cabinet
Hold
is
on.
Jewish.
Well, hold on. Trump's whole cabinet. JD
They have
Vance
Jewish
is Ca-
connections. They're
hold on a
married to a
second.
Jew. They have
JD
Jewish
Vance is
descent.
Catholic. Tulsi Gabbard is Hindu.
Jewish. They all have Jewish connections.
But you just
Every
said they were-
single
you just-
every single
you just said
person
they were all Jewish. Christine Nome is an evangelical
They've converted
Christian.
to Judaism or Catholicism. They all have an AIPAC advisor. Not a single person in
hold on,
Congress
let's-
can make a decision without asking their Israeli
I
Jewish AIPAC advisor
do need
if
to
it's
go
okay
through
to
the
say.
entire list.
Israel did 9/11, Charlie.
Bingo. There it is.
There it is.
I served. Why were we in the Middle East?
Well, I mean, you
Why were we in the Middle East?
you can reject involvement in the Middle East.
This is a brave
without
man.
Also believing Israel did
Yep.
9/11. So if Israel did 9/11, help me understand this. Who were the hijackers of the planes?
Like, dude, Charlie's learning here.
Oh, okay.
CIA and Israel worked together.
No. Explain to me what happened on
Oh,
Okay, first off, what we have to understand, there's only one plane that.
Yeah, this shit ain't going on YouTube, bro.
Yeah.
The building's imploded.
Okay,
If
so
a plane's going to hit a
hold
building,
on.
why would the building fall
Hold-
down?
Oh,
Fall
time out.
on the side.
Flight 93, did it exist?
Flight 93 existed, yes.
Okay, so who tried to hijack that plane?
They sacrificed those people to make it look like Bush
No,
was
but
targeted because they wanted to cover up
Right.
Bush's
So
involvement.
who-
He just happened to be in Texas reading a book to elementary kids, and they were reading a sign on a
Guys,
whiteboard.
let me say
that
this.
talks about towers falling, Charlie. We've been
Anti-Semitism.
lied to since the beginning of this country. Jews, Freemasons, all of it's a satanic agenda. Israel is the synagogue of Satan. They're killing innocent people in Palestine over the guise of sovereignty. New World Order is coming, Charlie.
Guys, let me tell you.
Fuck, I love this kid.
Anti-Semitism is
Yep.
really a brain cancer, as you could
How is
see.
this anti-Semitic, Charlie? How is it anti-Semitic?
You-
to-
How,
I love this part.
I'm hating on Jews when I'm
No,
saying
I
that
want-
they.
you keep interrupting me. Israel
That's fair,
did
I'm sorry.
9/11 is a rather anti-Semitic thing to say. Explain to me Flight 93 and the families aboard that lost their loved ones. Who actually was the hijacker? Was it a Mossad agent?
No,
Okay, who was it?
the government put them there.
No,
These
who
people-
was it?
They crashed a plane intentionally to make it
No,
look
no,
like
no, no,
George
no.
W.
Who
Bush was
who
targeted.
was the hijacker?
They're-
No, this is important. They can never answer this question. Who was the hijacker?
They didn't have real hijackers, Charlie. They're
Oh,
plants.
okay. So when
They were plans. CIA,
So
Mossad. Mossad created
so when they
Hamas.
got the black box, of course, it was all just like a conspiracy.
Just like they found the
And-
passport
and-
miraculously 2 miles down from the crash
This-
site in
Right
New
here.
York. They just happened to find one of the hijackers' passports.
Watch Charlie's face.
Pounds away from the crash site in New York. It just happened to be there. They just walked up and found it. They just randomly happened to find a perfectly
familiar
good
with that piece
passport.
piece
Look
of
it up.
data.
Look up the passport.
Look, here, there's so much wrong with your worldview, but the biggest problem with your worldview is this, is that you are looking to other people to blame for all of our problems, especially a small group of people, albeit flawed. Every group is flawed. I'm not going to defend everything that every group has ever done, but I find it to be rather insidious and very treacherous, because you're going out of your way to try to create this big web of connections, and it's the Jews, and it's the Jews, and it's the Jews, and why are people overweight? Well, it's because of the Jews, and why are people
I
sad?
never
Because
said
it's the
that.
Jews.
I never said that.
No, you're heavily inferring that every problem imaginable
not say every
is
problem.
the Jews.
I did not say every problem.
Well, I mean, he basically did, everybody, right?
Problems within
And
government.
so,
No,
That's the
he
thing.
didn't.
No, he didn't.
but it does beg the question, though, which is that your obsession with this group of people is so unhealthy, and it's not merited. In fact,
The truth.
I think it was more unhealthy for Charlie Kirk.
Very, dude. At this point, Charlie is still very, very under the spell. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't understand. But I agree with you. This is 100% where I think he started to
This was the red pill, am I right?
wake up. Yep. And
This is it,
honestly,
dude.
And I'm honestly very like, I'm pretty convinced. If you haven't watched this yet, David, like if any of your viewers, if you guys haven't watched the documentary, The Occupation of the American Mind yet, or the BB Files, dude, The Occupation of the American Mind is like 2025's Out of Shadows. That is how absolutely necessary it is that you watch it. It's like an hour and a half long. And I am convinced that people like Candace and all these other people who basically woke up out of nowhere watched that documentary because it's so clear cut. And I would not be surprised if he hadn't watched that documentary too. And that's what made him start questioning things, because you can't watch it and say, oh yeah, everything's fine. Like it lays it out so clear. I just sent you a video that, in part of this, he talks about how Hamas was created by Israel and propped up by Israel. So one of those documentaries I just named, the BB Files, you can only find it on archive.org. It's been completely scrubbed from the internet, but it is smoking gun proof that Bibi Netanyahu not only funded Hamas through Qatar, but he did it in his own words in order to control the height of the flame. And that is what led to October 7th. That's why
Right.
they had the funds to make it happen, right? If you watch that video I just sent you, like it tells everything.
Iran was sending missile after missile after missile and couldn't penetrate the Iron Dome, but paragliders do.
Right. But 9-hour stand down. Are you still watching this video? I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I'm
there's
just gonna play a little
Okay.
more.
Okay. I can't remember what's left.
the people who control our government,
Pedophiles, Satanists.
This kid's not wrong.
The people who control our government are secular leftist Marxists in the deep state. They're not exactly the Jews, but they're people that want to overturn Donald Trump being able to deport illegal aliens in this country. I think the people actually controlling our country are not the Jews. Actually, it's a combination of people that want to see the United States of America cripple and fall.
He's not wrong there. That's all. Like multiple things can be righted at the same time.
100%.
Charlie, it's the New World Order. It's in scripture.
Well, again, I read the same scripture you do. You're heavily inferring and reading into Daniel and Ezekiel and
Because the Old
into
Testament still
Revelation.
applies.
Okay, yes, I do. The Old Testament does still apply. Yeah.
So yes, I'm inferring into the Old Testament.
Yes, again, you're inferring a lot into the Old Testament. Have the Jews ever done anything good?
No. Not the modern day Jews, no. The modern day Jews, no. The Yah's chosen people, yes. Yah's chosen people, yes. The modern day Jews, there's a reason they were not founded until the 1940s. It's not biblical prophecy, Charlie. There's a new world order coming. Trump and Elon are pushing it. They're controlled by the Jews. All they do is worship the Jews. Trump pulled Netanyahu's seat out for him.
See, this is what I'm talking about when I say that, unfortunately.
May God bless you and keep you. I will give you the look.
May God bless you, Charlie.
So this is what I'm talking about, though, bro. When I say, like, again, I'm not cutting him off because I don't want people to know about the Talmud. Like, I know that there's going to be people out there like, oh, why are you trying to stop him? No. Go look at the Talmud.
This ain't going on YouTube.
But the reality is, when people like him start going off at the end of that, because he did so good, he did so good all the way up until the end. But then as soon as he says the Jews never did anything good, they're all evil, and he just blankets.
He gave the argument he gave the win to Charlie, to Duncan.
100%, because you have to understand nuance and you have to realize multiple things can be true at once. Charlie was 100% right. It's not just the Jews that are like, it's just not. The Zionists combined with the elites, combined with the bankers, like,
Special interest. Everyone's got skin in the game.
It's a cabal, dude. But like, you have to be smarter when you're putting this argument out there. And that was my only point with this whole thing. Is like, right then and there, his answer should have been, yeah, they have. I mean, dude, the amount of technological advancements that we've had, the amount of intelligence we've gotten from them, there's been a lot of good things. There's also been a lot of really bad things. But it's not the Jews. This is the problem with this whole argument, and this is why I've been so outspoken about it, and it's going to make sense, because when people do that, when people blanket statement the Jews, it's just like during BLM when they said the blacks.
Yeah,
right.
It's a certain part of them. They're battling the same deep state we are. Okay,
exactly.
It's a certain sect of people, right?
It is the elite Zionists. Yes,
I agree with you 100%. And it's a corrupt government, bro. That's what it is. That controls.
It's a regime.
Yes, it's a regime.
It's a modern day ethno-political regime that is committing a genocide and ethnically cleansing an entire people because of under the guise of religious sovereignty. And this is something that is extremely evil. And what I was getting at with the whole like the Jews thing, this is why I think that we are 100% headed for a massive surveillance state, and why all of this is happening with Israel, why they're buying up all the media, why they're buying up the AI, the surveillance, all this stuff.
The deal with Peter Thiel and Trump.
Because here's what I think. And this
Am I right? I mean, is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, you are. And this is the scariest part of it all, right? Because
okay, so hold on. I know people are getting mad right now. Shut up, don't cut about. Hold on. But wait, the left is what's pushing this. So the left has to stay out there like the chum in the water to get people to accept this coming of the right as the pendulum goes that way.
But the left, this is the interesting thing about the left, David. We actually got to a point just a couple months ago where the left and the right were actually starting to see eye to eye on some things. Not everything, not even close to everything. But there was a little bit of unity starting to form, because one thing we could all agree on, that the people that aren't evil, right? Like the ones that are good people, the one thing we could agree on is it's not okay to celebrate the death of someone else, regardless of whether or not you believe what they're saying or think that what they're saying is okay. Like there were actually a lot of people on the left that came out and were very outspoken about the death of Charlie Kirk and were like, listen, this is insane that people are celebrating this. You're showing your true colors. There was a brief moment of unity there, and it scared the shit out of them. Because, again, man, you know I talk about this all the time. This is my central message. It's united we stand, divided we fall. There's a reason they say that. And the fact is, the left is being played just like the right. But honestly, I think the right has been played more than anyone else, because I think what's actually coming is this. If you go look at some of these influencers that are just like completely pulling a 180, and now all of a sudden they're so pro-Israel and they're going after Tucker and going after Candace, the amount of posts that they make daily that are pro-Israel is insane. But what's even more insane is go into their comment sections. They're getting wrecked. Like it is not even balanced. It is completely lopsided.
What about this false flag bullshit, Laura Loomer being targeted for anti-Semitism?
So that's what I'm getting at, because think about this, okay? Why would these influencers who have built their platforms and done so much to build their audiences completely burn them to the ground and know that they're doing that? Because you and I both know, if you're making posts and it's the same subject for weeks on end, and every single time you do it, you get nothing but negativity and backlash and hate, are you going to keep on making that post?
You're getting paid.
You're either, number one, you're either getting paid, or, and this is the scary one, this is my other conspiracy theory, dude, I think they're baiting. I think this is a campaign to bait all of the people that are anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, America first, true patriots. I think they are baiting us into making the comments so that the AI surveillance can track us.
I think Kanye West was also a psyop by Israel. I think coming out and saying, this anti-Semitism and saying the Jews this, the Jews that. I think Nick Fuentes is also a psyop. I think these people are all agitators being activated for such a time as now to bait people in. Yes, I agree with you. But also then you got the other side, Laura Loomer, people like that. Oh, we can't take the hate. The people that are the anti-Semites are coming after me. And bro, trust me, I'm on the same page.
And then the amount of bots, dude, the amount of bots that are actually the anti-Semitic bots, like, again, that's what's happening. It's the same. Dude, COVID was a test run. We've said this for so long, but we didn't understand what that test run was. It wasn't a test run for a virus. It was a test run for mass surveillance and censorship.
This for sure is not fucking going on YouTube.
Because listen, with COVID, right? What happened? They blended. They basically took people who were simply just questioning and not wanting to put this experimental thing in their body. That's all they wanted. They weren't science deniers and they weren't grandma killers or whatever, right? But what these people did was they conveniently blended those things. They made it seem like the people who were simply just asking questions and wanting body autonomy, right? They were COVID deniers and grandma killers. Same thing with BLM. Anybody that questioned these riots and questioned all this insanity around the George Floyd stuff, all of a sudden, they were racist. It's the same playbook. Now what they're doing is they're blending anti-Semitism with anyone who is just criticizing the government of Israel and what they're doing and the influence that they have in our country. It's not anti-Semitic.
And have you noticed a lot of people around Charlie Kirk are fucking quiet? They ain't saying shit.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder why. And dude, again, man, it just goes back to, this is the scary part, is I think that's what the test run was. I think that they're getting ready to ramp up and usher in the most advanced and expansive AI surveillance state that we have ever seen. And if you don't think that anti-Semitism is going to be one of their main targets, you're sleeping. Because guess what? The only resistance that we had to the state of Israel and to this freaking evil regime and their influence on our government, the only resistance we really had was all the people who were speaking out about it while the Palestinians were being mass murdered. But guess what? It's done. They freaking leveled that entire place. They pushed everybody out to the West Bank that they possibly could. They bombed the rest of the West Bank. And now they're having meetings and talking about the ceasefire and the peace deals, and they want to.
Who's going to get what, and what are they going to do?
Huckabee announced today that they're going to, not Huckabee, the speaker. What's the Speaker of the House?
Mark Johnson. Mike Johnson.
Johnson spoke about how they're going to go talk to all the nations and they're going to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize and all of this stuff, dude. And then here comes the freaking Middle East Riviera. Here comes AI surveillance on the Palestinians, digital tokens for them. Who do you think that's coming to next? And if Israel is controlling it all, you really think they're going to allow the anti-Semitism to continue? Nah. No.
Brother, I appreciate you coming on, man. This was like 2 hours almost. It was
Yeah, this is a good one,
epic.
dude.
It was epic. So I'm going to put this on .tv and Rumble.
Okay.
I'll put it on .tv tonight. I'll send you a file as well. Do you want it?
Yeah, hell yeah. Please send it. Because
Okay,
I'll upload it on my YouTube.
All right, yeah, fucking, he'll do it on his YouTube, folks. So
Yep.
there you go. All right, so I'll be sending
Yeah,
it
man.
tonight. Thanks, Ian. Stay with me just for a second.